Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Liz. I go over kind of random things I'm working on, and today we're going to go over Humor Seriously, a book that I just read. It's called Why Humor is a Secret Weapon in Business and Life. This was a phenomenal book, especially for like a business self-help book. I definitely enjoyed this one. So it's written by Naomi and Jennifer, and they're both like graduate Stanford professors, so graduate level professors in the business school, or I think the design school. Not sure. I just know that they work at Stanford, so they must be semi-important. So I put it under psychology and business. Now, they kind of talk about the serious business myth, which is this idea that we just have to be like super demanding and no fun attached, like give me this and you owe me this Excel spreadsheet and blah blah blah. And so their argument is that humor is powerful leadership strategy to break down barriers and balance authority and approachability. So I'm like, cool, I'll read this book. So she talks about self-depreciating humor. So best way to bring humor into your group is to make fun of yourself. And then the failure myth. So the bar is actually super low for humor just because nobody uses a lot of humor. So you don't actually have to be that funny. So the goal is to make a connection. It's not to just like give a comedian show. Now they say that, so the brain on humor, so humor increases power, bonds, creativity, resilience. So power. People who are funny typically are seen as more intellectual or smarter. People who have a sense of humor, same thing. Using humor makes your content more engaging, more memorable, so you can use that to your advantage. You can quicken your bonds with people by being funny with them. And when you are seeing all these connections, it can cause certain levels of creativity somehow. And then resilience, you're reducing stress. So then there's a quote I like that says, "I don't trust anyone who doesn't laugh." So I like that. Now that she did go into psychological safety, which I've heard, so I'm going to link this actually to culture code. Culture code? The culture code, yeah. Because I've definitely heard psychological safety many times. It was actually in a lot of workshops I did kind of around Stanford at like Microsoft. There's a Microsoft excursion thing I went on, and I went to Google as well. And it's the like psychological safety. That was when it was introduced to me, was at Google. And I've never heard that term before. And ever since, I've been hearing it everywhere. So it's like the relationship between safety and work performance. So psychological safety, the belief that we won't be punished or ridiculed when we make a mistake. This is huge. This gets me going. I have brought this up so many times at work because it makes a huge difference. People are like, blah, blah, psychological safety. But it's true. Like, people don't want to feel like shit when they make a mistake. Like, let's get ourselves together, people. So principle 1, at the heart of humor is truth. So instead of asking yourself what is funny, start by what is true and going to the extremes of that. Let's see, all humor contains surprise and misdirection. So this is kind of some stuff about humor. Make fun of yourself, great. Exercise, make a long list of observations and exaggerate each one. That's a good way to like come up with some funny stuff. Memorize some of your signature stories. So I noticed that I actually already do this. So I have like some like very signature stories that I tell with large groups that are really funny stories. And I have them down. I've told them so many times I have them down. So like I'm ready to like whip out my cards. A callback. This is very important. So basically when you make a joke, you can refer back to it later and it becomes like an inside joke between you and somebody else. So like, for example, I told somebody to use the word mortals, and then like later, like down the road, they were like, oh yeah, invite the mortals. So it's like, that was a callback. So that's something that can like bond you with somebody. So like look for those. People who are really good at making connections call back on jokes. Why have so many of us bought into the belief that professional communications need to be devoid of personality, character, or quirk? That's a good freaking question. Then it talks about kind of some jargon words like bandwidth, incentivize, blah. Apparently a lot of people read the PS at the end of an email first. Oh, I liked this one, the bad idea brainstorm. Basically, like, instead of saying, like, let's brainstorm, say, let's brainstorm some bad ideas. It sets the expectation low. Trust was interesting. So it says employees who work in high trust environments are 32 times more likely to take risks and 11 times more likely to see higher levels of innovation. So I'm like, okay, we need to get on that. And they said the 2 ways to like build trust is knowing the obstacles the leaders overcame to be successful. So like my boss was like, this is what I had to overcome, you know, that would be kind of cool. Or speaks like a regular person. So it can't be that hard, people. Managers. This is what I really, really liked out of this book was 50% of Americans left a job to get away from their managers. So there's a lot of shitty managers out there. An approachable manager can increase employee engagement by more than 30%. So I'm going to add that, and I have a section below of what I'm going to use from the book, and I'll go over that too. 79% of people leave their jobs with lack of appreciation. So it's like, knowing these statistics, now I can think of questions that I would ask people in order to get some feedback, right? Oops meetings, super cool idea. So basically a meeting to go over all the things you messed up that week. Creating culture, team, culture carriers, hidden gems, instigators. So I definitely put myself under an instigator. So rabble rousers, rule breakers who do things differently and tend to be non-conformist by nature. I put Brian in there too. And me. And then I put my friend Robbie under hidden gem, diligent, under the radar, unexpected opportunities. Because he is funny. He just doesn't show it a lot. And then culture carriers, natural leaders, and then they have like a little dabble of humor that I also see. And then, so ritual for dead projects, thought that was a cool idea. Memory, people remember peaks and ends. I mean, I have a lot of notes in here. The walls can talk, so like making your space brighter and more exciting, like my space, and look that excited. Comedy has three things: truth, pain, and distance. Some stuff about death, which I thought was interesting. And now I like how I'm going to apply, right? So I'm like, I want to schedule an oops meeting. I just want to see what it would be like. So I'll schedule that with some people on my team. And then updated check-in questions. I want to ask, how could I be more approachable, right? If approachable managers are ones that keep their people, I should probably try to be more approachable. Then how could I improve of praise and recognition? Like how could I give out more praise and recognition? Because that's a huge thing. 79%. So I'm like, cool, I could work on that. And then I kind of want to come up with a ritual like special socks, inside joke related, I don't know. And then I liked the dead project ritual. I thought that was cool. And then maybe like Courtney's starting in like July at my work. So like maybe bringing in like bright colors and plants and shit that she can just like decorate her cube with, because the cubes are not fun. They're not great. But anyway, that's it. I wanted to do just a short little blip in how I would use that in my real life, because I feel like I read these books and then I never actually change anything. Like sometimes, but having a list at the bottom of like, these are the things I'm gonna do, is kind of a cool concept. So I think I'm gonna start doing that more, and then linking to other books and stuff. But I really enjoyed this book. I read it on the Kindle, or I read it on my iPad, but it was on the Kindle app. And then I just highlighted the stuff that I liked. So if you want to read about humor in business, totally pick up this book. I'm starting to see like my mindset's opening, where I see times where I'm like, oh, we could laugh at that, or like, ooh, that could be a good callback and mend that relationship or improve that relationship or whatever it may be. It's just fascinating. I always loved humor, and I'm obviously a very eccentric person to work with, but now I feel a little like a weight lift off my shoulder. Like, 'cause sometimes I think I'm being too funny and people are being too serious, but now I feel like, oh no, it's fine. you're allowed to be funny and like lighthearted. But anyway, right below anything you found out of this book or any other books that you want to read that's like similar-ish, and then I will look into those. All right, thank you guys for watching.